Say hi to all the wieners. She's peaceful now that she's got her binky. What is crankin' wieners? It is official. I am now a dangle dad. Last week, February 23rd, Kaylee and I gave birth to this beautiful little peanut here. This is Mila Kay. She is the newest addition to the family, and it's just been such a wild week. It feels like it's been a month now, but she's only a week old. She's a newborn at that, and I wanted to turn the camera on because it has been quite some time to give you guys a bit of insight as to what I've been up to. What I've been up to is not fishing, not sleeping, and doing a lot of this. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Something about being a father is just like the most insane thing ever. I know a lot of you guys watching this video now can relate. It's really incredible. She's freaking precious. But anyway, I wanted to turn the camera on to introduce you guys the newest little girl. It's my personal best baby, 7 pounds, 3 ounces. She's an absolute chunk. She's a keeper for sure. But yeah, no, super excited. I do apologize. I'm not actually gonna apologize, but I do at the same time apologize for the lack of uploads and not being so present on social media. But just know, we've had our hands full. But the reason why, oh, God bless you. Oh, there goes your binky. Binky, I know, binky down. It's feeding time right now, so, oh gosh, bless you. One more. He's a binky. Miles actually a huge shout out to Miles right now. It's technically milk time for her, but Dad pulled her aside to make a quick cameo in the video. And I hope you guys are excited to see some videos, hopefully with her in the future. Having a kid just means I now have a full-time fishing partner. You could be my little net buddy. Yeah, you could be my little net buddy. So Dangle 1 and Dangle 2 here, just wanted to touch base with you guys, let you know what's going on. In other news, aside from having a child and now being a dad, I've got something behind me that we're gonna film and kind of go over today. A lot of big things have happened recently. I just sold one of my cars, sold a boat, most importantly, had Mila, but we also picked up a new piece of debt. I don't think having a baby and buying something expensive really go hand in hand, but we did give her a few toys, which has allowed us to get this sweet little red rocket behind me. So I'm gonna bring her back into her mom. She's gonna get fed up and rested up, and I'm gonna show you guys my newest regret, my newest red regret, that is. Thing's pretty sweet. All right, you done? Is there anything you want to say to the people before we sign out? She said, keep drinking milk, never stop. All right, I'll be right back. All right, Miles back in safe and sound. Let's see if I can figure this thing out. Forgot how to film a video. How do you use these things again, Caleb? I actually got Caleb here. He's thankful enough to help me. I had my hands a little full earlier, but now she's inside getting that milk. I will say, if you ever do have any hesitancy of having a kid or plan to having a kid, the only thing I can say, it's like literally the best thing ever. It's quite literally the best thing that's ever happened in my life, and this has been the most insane year so far. 2022 has been nuts. As you know, we fulfilled the quest of the double digit. What I'm about to show you is also another huge accomplishment, and we've just had a lot of other awesome things that have gone. What else has happened? We filmed some pretty good video, like ice fishing. Yeah, we did that ice fishing trip on Maine. Done for the year. 1 trip and done. Caught 2 mega brook trout through the ice. Ticked that off the list. Everything has been really great, and like having Mila was just the pinnacle. So I'm excited to hopefully, once she gets bigger, introduce you guys more to her in the video, and she's just gonna become my little fishing buddy. But being a dad is great. You lose a ton of sleep. You have to, change like hundreds of dirty diapers. Like we have gone through probably close to 100 dirty diapers. It's insane. But anyway, take a gander at what we have over my shoulder. This is my my newest regret. We not only have a kid, but we're now in debt. Some of the best elements of being an adult, I suppose. But in today's later part of the video, I want to introduce you guys this here boat. I had to bid farewell to the original Black Lund. That's on its way up to Maine right now. My buddy Ryan purchased that boat, and he's gonna use that for tournament fishing and stuff like that. So once I sold that boat, I'm like, okay, I need another boat. I need another rig. I really liked my Lund. We no longer work with them, not affiliated with the company at all, but they're such great boats that I decided to pick up another one, but a little bit bigger, and this one is sexy. Sexy to say the least. As far as like aluminum boats go, this is about as good as it gets. So I'm gonna shut up, and Caleb's gonna pick up the camera. I'm gonna show you guys head to toe why I purchased this boat and kind of go over a full tour. The reason why we're doing a boat tour today is because we're gonna take this thing out tomorrow and splash it. We're gonna put some slime on the deck, gonna put some hours in the motor, and we are going to officially use this boat for the first time. So without further ado, let's start on the ass end of the boat and make our way to the nose. I'm gonna explain to you guys everything that has been added to this boat and why and what purpose it's going to serve for the rest of 2020. Well, first and foremost, this boat here is a Lunsky. It's a 2022 Pro V Bass. It's a 2075, so it's just a little bit bigger than a 20-foot boat. It's almost like 21 foot. But I got this boat because I love my previous one so much. It's basically the bigger brother of that. Here on the back, we got 250 horsepower. My last boat had 200. So we got an extra 50 horses packed under this calendar right here. Mercury Pro XS, really great motors. Haven't had any issues with my last one. Now that I said it, it'll probably blow up. I just jinxed myself. But anyway, this thing's freaking great. You might also notice we got something in the rear as well. This is my first ever boat with power poles. I've been a bass fisherman just about my whole freaking life, and I've never owned a boat with power poles. These are actually not power poles, these are Raptors. I stand corrected. These are Raptors with active anchor, so if you're on a windy day, which is not a rare occurrence here in Texas, if you lose your spot, if you start to slip, these poles actually start to engage even further. I'll actually show you how it works. Stay right there. Ooh! And just like that, these puppies will lock you on the spot. They are 8-foot anchors. So they're not the 10-footers, but I went with something a little less expensive. They are in a white because everything is back ordered until like probably 2050. So I just went with the white, and we're probably gonna get them painted or wrapped. But these things are gonna come in handy, especially tomorrow if we do a bit of shallow fishing. These are some awesome little tools to have on your boat if you do a lot of shallow water bass. And like if you're in Florida, fish Okeechobee, especially here in Texas, you go back in the creeks, you're gonna want one of these. Anyway, we got a 250 Pro XS, double Raptors, 8-footers. Let's keep on moving towards the front. So this right here is the helm, the old rooster pit, the old cockpit. It's where all the action happens, is where you get the freaking throttle down and go Mach 65 down the lake. You know, if you're a bass angler, you have to have at least 50 graphs. So what I did with this one is I've got 2 graphs installed. I got a 12-inch Garmin and a 12-inch Humminbird. This is an Echo map, which is like one of my favorite Garmins. It's what I had in the front of my old boat. And then this is a Helix from my old boat as well. So yeah, it's just kind of a nice little deal. What's great about the double graphs is I can run maps right here inside Scan or vice versa. That way I can keep my screen separate. I know some guys do 3. 2 is all you need. Honestly, 1 is all you need. I had one on my old boat and we did just fine. We caught lots of good fish. It's also got speakers as well. Here's the head unit. It comes with 2 Rockford Fosgate bumpers. So we can, you know, twerk down the lake, listen to some Nicki Minaj, Taylor Swift, all my favorite tunes. There's not much else up here. You got USB, you want to charge your phone or the GoPro, that's pretty clutch. That's something the old boat did not have as well. Cell phone storage back in through here. Here's the horn. Damn, it's a lot louder than the old one. The other thing I did with this boat too, which I really liked in my old boat, is I got a hot foot installed, including hand throttle. And there's a little button you can press here where you can toggle in between both. So if I wanted to just crank down with the hand throttle and run the motor, I could easily do so. Or I could press this button right here, and then I can basically use the boat as if I'm driving a car. So my acceleration is all measured through the foot pedal down there, like a gas pedal. I will just say this, and first and foremost, I'll get this out of the way, this is the perfect boat for me. There's literally no other boat that I would ever want on the market. Essentially, this is my dream boat. You know, I was looking at Vexus's. They're great boats, but they are, I mean, this is an arm and a leg, but Vexus boats are like an arm, a leg, and a head. They are so freaking expensive, but they're good boats. I just wanted something that could handle rough water, that I could beat up. This is aluminum, so I'm gonna beat it up, as I do with all my boats. And it's just perfect. Like it's got so much room and it goes quick. It's also just a fantastic little bass fishing machine. So the other thing that this boat can do that most other bass boats cannot is that it can fit comfortably, keyword comfortably, a total of 4 people. So these seats come up, you could sit back here and you could bring, I think, like 4 or 5 people. This boat's ready for 5. So someone could even sit like right there in the front while you've got Jimmy, Timmy, Bill, and Greg all right here in the back of the boat. You also might notice too, the seats are a little bit different. Most bass boats have like really low seating, which is nice, but these are pedestal seatings. What you do is you just flip this up and you can move this forward and adjust it. It just allows for more kind of recessed space, which is good for us because we're always carrying camera gear. Plenty of room for gear if you want to do a camping trip or something like that. This boat kind of has a layout of like a deep V boat, but it's technically a bass boat. I love the seating in this. There's been many times when we've had 4 people in the boat and it is not a gong show. You know, it fits everyone very nicely. Okay, some of the more straightforward stuff that you'll find in pretty much every boat. You've got Livewell in here. This Livewell is huge. You could probably fit a muskie in there if there were muskie in Texas. So it's pretty nice. It's got a divider. If you're doing tournaments, you got a co-angler on one side and then, you know, your fish on the other. That is very dialed. although I don't really use that much. I don't know how much tournament fishing I'm gonna do this season. I might do a little bit. You guys will have to let me know in the comments. If you wanna see more of that, we'll make it happen. And then you've got some more compartments right here. You know, I keep my sun sauce in here, sunscreen. I'm practically a Nordic albino individual, so I need that UV protection. So these seats too are really nice because they double as compartments. So in this back one, I've got my battery that runs all my graphs. So it's I believe 120 hour amp lithium. In here, I believe is the other battery. This is my starter battery. It's 100 hour amp. So it's a lithium as well. Lithium's the way to go. It seems like these days everyone's switching from AGMs to lithiums. They are so expensive, but they're lightweight and they last frickin' forever. So 2 battery storages right here. If I remember correctly, yeah, there's nothing here. I keep first aid, life vests. This is something that every one of you wieners out there should do. If you got a boat, no matter if it's a freaking John boat or a $120,000 cedar, always have one of these type of boxes in your rig. I've got a spare trolling motor prop in here. I've got spare fuses. I'm always blowing fuses. I fish a lot and I'm running my boat a lot, so you'll just have occasionally stuff that doesn't want to work. I've got electrical tape in here as well. These are just simple, essential things. Zip ties. I've also got another box I'm gonna put back here. I've also got another box I'm gonna put back here as well that's gonna have like a socket set. I think I'm gonna include just like some other stuff. This is basically like my O box. If bad stuff hits the fan and I've got to do a little bit of
MacGyvering.
Thank you. I had a brain fart there. I've had no sleep. If I gotta do a bit of MacGyvering, I can do so with the tools that I have in here, but always have one of these. You have to have an OS box in your boat. Back here are my 2 Raptor pumps. So these are my little hydraulic pumps that make the Raptors go up and down and up and down. I still haven't figured out how to completely shut these things off. That's something that you wanna make sure you can figure out before you go to the lake. If these go down when you're going 80 miles an hour on the highway, it's just not a good scenario. I've never done it personally, but I've seen guys who do it and it's messed up. So you got that back here, got the 2 pumps for the Raptors, and that pretty much, I believe, sums it up for the ass end of this boat. Let's go forward and show you guys some of the other compartments and bells and whistles. This is where all the action takes place. I guess there's a lot of action that happens in this boat. You got action at the helm, action up here. This is where you hook set. You got lots of hook set space up here. I did a little bit of testing there. You can just frame on them. It's freaking nice. You could probably comfortably fit like 3 guys up here. Like I have 2 guys right here, 1 guy right here. It's just so much bigger than my last boat. Like my last boat was sizable, but it was an 18-footer. So when we brought the boys with, like Cole and Kyle and having Caleb on the boat, it got a bit stuffy. But anyway, up here you've got some really interesting compartments. Fun fact, when I ordered this boat, it was only supposed to come as a single console. When it arrived at the marina, it was a double console. So I had a bit of a heart attack, I freaked out. The nice thing about the Lunds though, is you can actually remove and replace the consoles in this thing. So it was an easy fix. Literally just 2 little screws right here and the whole console came out. Up here is kind of an interesting compartment. I have not figured out what this is for. If I had to guess, it's probably a Miller Lite dungeon. It's probably for the Bud Lights, the White Claws, the brown water. I imagine, does it have a pump? No, yeah, this is 100% cooler. I originally thought that this was a another live well because my other Lund back up in Maine has 2 live wells, one right about here, then of course the other one in the back. But this is a cooler. It's a built-in cooler, which is really nice. And then it also comes with this too. They include an igloo, which is freaking hilarious. So they give you like a pretty inexpensive igloo, but then they also have a built-in cooler. So they must just assume if you buy this boat, you're catching bass and throwing back some drinks, which I guess in this case they're right. I'm their demographic for sure. Anyway, pretty cool. That's something that didn't come in my last boat. You can probably put snacks in there too. Basically just a little snack dungeon. Over yonder, we have, I believe, this is my soft plastic storage. Yeah, I've got to organize this a good bit, but soft plastic storage. This boat came with like a sick little bag too, which is really nice. I think it's a soft, is this another freaking cooler? It's another cooler. So Lund gives you 3 coolers. They must just assume you are loading this thing down with liquor. Which is pretty funny. But yeah, my soft plastic compartment is right here. It's looking really organized. I know, I'm a bit of a neat freak. Got a bit of OCD in my blood. I'm not sure if you can tell. But yeah, I gotta attend to that soon. This boat, unlike my other one, comes with spare rod storage too. So if I had someone fishing this boat or we had a ton of rods for the reason, this actually plays as a secondary rod locker, which is cool. And then all of the running lights fit in here very seamlessly. There's just like these little clips that they attach to, and you could tuck them away. They're out of sight, out of mind, and it's It's really great. This is actually a feature that was in my other boat too. Heading over here, we've got hard baits, terminal. Again, super freaking organized. Just got everything dialed down to a T. It's finally getting warm here in Texas. That's why I'm wearing my my volleyball shorts. And I'm in a t-shirt right now. But anyway, there you have it. Hard bait storage, soft swim baits, terminal, crankbaits, all that goodness right in here. This is where some of the fun stuff is installed. I went a little bit crazy with my electronics, but you know, this is, like I said, a dream boat of mine. Like I've owned quite a few boats, many of which have been given to me for promotional reasons, and I've been very blessed to be in that scenario. But this is kind of like the first bass boat that I've ever really spent like, you know, full price on and gotten to build myself and really had basically no limit. Like I was like, okay, I'm really gonna invest a lot of money in this. This is essentially my office. I fish for a living. You know, I'm very fortunate to do so. But with that being said, I wanna make sure I got everything that I want on this boat. So with that in mind, I installed a Samsung 56-inch screen TV in the front. No, I'm just kidding. This is like the biggest freaking Garmin they make. It's a 16-inch full touchscreen unit. I'll turn it on for you right there. This is about 4 inches bigger than my last graph. And as you guys probably know, we've been doing a lot of live scoping, especially in the colder months. I'm probably not gonna pay too much attention to this in the spring. Springtime is for dirty, shallow water flipping, and that's one of my favorite ways to fish. The other cool thing about this graph too is we can actually record fish eating in real time. So we can kind of splice this in with some of the videos if we're doing some informational stuff, or if you guys just want to see how we're catching them on live scope and forward facing, things of that nature. But this is on a raised decket mount. It's really nice. Then we also went balls to the walls on this right here. This is a really interesting mount that I had on my previous tracker. What this is basically like an eye level graph system. The reason why I went with this graph mount and why we've got another Panoptix unit up here is because on some of those days where we're strictly looking at the graph and fishing deep water and having to chase around some of those big schoolies, this is gonna be nice. I'm not gonna snap my neck every time I'm looking at my graph, throwing, you know, a swim bait or a jerk bait or something like that. It's so overkill. And I know a lot of you guys are gonna roll your eyes at this, and I totally get it. And actually, this type of fishing is very unhealthy for the mind, but it can be, you know, fun. And the big thing is it's very effective. The other cool thing about this too is it collapses. Actually, you can take this out completely if you just don't want it. Like tomorrow, we'll just take this out. So it just comes out like this, and I can put this on my workbench. And we can also do this with this little mount, so it's out of the way. It kind of clips this, which is not that big of a deal, but it comes right down. And it locks into place just like so. So it's like as if it's not even there. Really nice, really convenient. Tomorrow we're not even gonna mess with this. We'll just have this big graph up front and do a bit of shallow water ditch fishing, some pitching, some flipping. Okay, trolling motor, it's the same trolling motor I've had on just about all my boats. It is a Minn Kota Ultrex 112. So this motor runs off of 3 lithium batteries, and it's a great motor. It's like one of my favorite ones. I'm surprised they haven't really upgraded these motors yet. They haven't done much with them. The Ultrexes have pretty much remained unchanged for almost half a decade now. So we got that, but we also do have the Panoptix transducer, and that's the only transducer we have up in the front. You're probably wondering why I have one transducer and 2 graphs. The reason being is I'm basically gonna use one for maps and one for actual like graph purposes and reading the depth and where the fish are at. And the cool thing about these graphs too is I can very easily and quickly switch out which one I want to read Panoptix. So there might be some days where I just want this to be live scope and then this to be maps or vice versa, and I can just plug it in and out, and it's very simple, easy, and seamless. This whole part of the boat's boring. It's complicated, it's expensive, it puts a hole in my wallet, and it just makes me think, wow, you know, fishing's really turned into more of a metaverse type thing, you know. I don't know if fishing really was even close to the same as it was 5 years ago, let alone like a year ago too. But so we have some other compartments up here too. This is where I keep all my extra fluorocarbon, my extra braid, my extra leader. I replaced the prop that comes with the Minn Kota, which is a wedge too, really good prop, awesome for cutting through grass. But I replaced this with a Kapawa, I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's a 3-blade, and I heard some really good things about these. It saves on trolling motor battery life. It's just all around more powerful. And of course, 3 is better than 2. The only problem is I bought this little silencer, which I used on my last boat, and this kind of makes the trolling motor quiet, but it doesn't work with this. So this is kind of weird compartments, really useless. I have absolutely no idea why they included this, because most of this compartment is held up by the extra rod storage, which I don't really like, you know, but I did manage to fit some stuff in here. I've got all my charging cables in here, all my extension cords. So if I want to charge my boat, I can just grab it in here and I don't have to forget it at home. It's not in my truck. Having everything you need to get your boat ready in the morning in your boat is important. The reason why I did this is so I don't have those moments where I'm like on the water, I'm like, oh damn it, I left, you know, this in the truck, or I left this specific tool back at the barn. So everything kind of stays in here that needs to stay in here. Well, I reckon we just about went over everything that comes with this boat. I'm sure there might be a couple things that I'm missing, but I imagine you guys aren't really interested in the very nitty gritty details. In whole, what we have is a new fishing machine that is going to be the centerpiece of a lot of boat videos. One thing I do want to mention and emphasize though, is that Caleb and I are gonna do a lot of foot missions as well. You guys really blew up that casting concrete series. Like that's like been the most productive video in quite some time. It was a lot of fun to film. And I think a lot of you guys can relate to that style of fishing. I didn't grow up fishing off of, you know, the thing is, I didn't grow up fishing off of expensive bass boats like this. My roots stem from doing a lot of pond hopping. When I was a kid, I'd hop on my bike after school, use the last hour of daylight to try to go catch some fish. So I can relate heavily to why you guys like those videos a lot. And I personally like doing a bit of bank bang and some pond hop and all that kind of stuff. So we are gonna film some really cool pond fishing videos. We actually have another casting concrete that we're planning right now for the month of April. It's gonna, we tell them? Yeah, it's gonna take place in Florida. So Texas is an awesome place. We do a lot of freshwater stuff, but it's time to switch it up. We're gonna chase after some invasives, some saltwater fish, and of course, some freshwater bass as well. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited to film this one. It's where, you know, Caleb's from Florida, so he has a lot of intel there, and I'm pretty pumped. But videos that kind of fall into that genre are the ones that I'm really pumped to film. But I did want to kind of introduce you guys to the new Red Rocket. Appreciate you guys being patient. I appreciate all the support recently. I've been posting a lot of pictures of Milo on my Instagram because I'm absolutely obsessed with her. And you guys have been saying some really sweet, kind things. She's freaking awesome, and I can't wait for her to be old enough to hold a rod in her hand. I'm gonna try my very best now. She got a pretty strong grip. She might be able to hold one at the moment, but the whole casting thing is gonna be difficult. Anyway, I'm peacing out, signing out. Thank you guys so much for the view. Stay tuned for some more videos. We're back on the wagon. We're back cranking out some edits, and we're excited to pump out some videos for all of you wieners at home. As always, folks, keep fishing.